Hey everyone, it's your girl Sam Law, and I'm bringing to you this month's Young Hip Professionals Influencer of the Month. For November of 2020, we have a dear friend of mine. He runs Charlee Marie Productions, Long Island's very own Damon Laughs. If you haven't been to a Charlee Marie production, you are absolutely missing out. It is a great comedy experience. And I mean, it is an experience. You can't say that about a lot of things, that when you go there, you're being fully immersed in the product or the art, but with Charlee Marie, you absolutely are. So what made me want to bring Damon on is that every month we like to highlight people from the community that are doing something unique, something different, and they're able to rise, especially in a time such as now, where it's been very difficult for small business owners to keep going, to keep winning, to keep achieving, and Damon keeps winning non-stop. So say a little bit about yourself, Damon. Tell us who you are.
As Sam said, I'm Damon Laughs. I run Charlee Marie Productions. We run our ticket site out of ComedyNightLI.com. So basically what I do is I bring mostly black and brown comedians to Long Island. It's been a while since Long Island has had an urban comedy scene, and I'm just looking to bring it back to Long Island.
That's awesome. I've had a great experience every time I've been. My friends have had an amazing experience, and we just actually had a toy drive with Charlee Marie Productions, and it was such a blessing. We already adopted some families, so if you're watching and you know a family that has children and they need toys, especially if you are part of the entertainment sector, I know this industry is going through a lot and a lot of people are struggling. So if you're part of the entertainment sector, or even if you're not and you have children that need toys, need something, just hit us up, let us know, and we will try to do our best that we can to accommodate you and get some gifts to your kids. So I'm going to roll right into the questions. So Damon, what made you fall in love with comedy?
Just seeing how a joke, somebody saying something funny to you can just change your mood in a second. I think it's the most powerful thing in the world. Just being able to make people laugh for a living is rewarding in itself.
Wow. So I'm going to go back to that. When you say laughter is the most powerful thing in the world, what does that really mean?
About 11 years ago, I lost my younger brother. He had a heart attack on a basketball court. And at his funeral, everyone was sad, and it was just overwhelming. And one of his friends basically spoke on something that he had done that was hilarious, because it turned the mood in the funeral home from sad to everyone laughing in a second. And that was when I really started to take notice of what laughter and what humor can do to people.
Wow, that's really powerful. So this is something that you built out of a struggle, kind of dealing with a loss.
Yeah.
Wow. So what is it that makes you want to bring urban comedy to Long Island?
I don't just want to bring urban comedy, all types of mainstream as well, but we started in the urban scene.
What's the difference?
The difference is, it's funny. Comedy is like the last segregated thing in the world.
Long Island knows all about segregation.
When you go to a comedy club that's owned by white people and it's mostly white comics, when black people tend to go to those things, not to say that they have a bad time, but it's not the same as when it's just people talking about different things that they can relate to. If you have a comic on stage and you can't relate to him, then his jokes are not going to be funny.
Right. True. That's true. So can you tell me a little bit about the history of comedy on Long Island and what it is you plan on doing to innovate that?
Okay. So in the late 90s, early 2000s, there was a black-owned establishment named Giggles. It was pretty famous on Long Island. for whatever reason, that went away, and we haven't had anything in the urban comedy scene since the early 2000s. So I started Charlee Marie Productions in 2018, and we've been going ever since. You know?
Wow. That's around the time that YHP got started, everyone. We got started in 2018, so that's really cool, kind of working alongside of a business that got their vision and built their craft along the same time as yours is super inspiring.
You know, it's just a supply and demand thing. We didn't have it, so I just brought it here, and it's been working out ever since.
Do you believe that you can make Long Island a home for comedy?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that a lot of Long Islanders travel to New York City to go to comedy clubs, to go to the Barclays or Madison Square Garden, or now even Radio City Music Hall now. So, you know, we have our own arenas out here.
Right.
2 of them are outdoors. We have Jones Beach and the one, I don't know. Remember.
Oh, the Penny Saver Theater in Sayville.
We have that for the summertime. And, you know, I don't know what they're doing with Nassau Coliseum, but we have that. We have Westbury Theater. There's numerous places we can go out here. We just don't have anyone running it.
Wow. So that kind of makes you a producer, really. Like, you're not just having an event. You're producing, like, a real... Like I said before, you're producing an experience. So as a producer, what does success look like to you?
Everyone laughing. Everyone. I mean, that's what you're doing it for. So everyone sitting back, laughing, having a great time with their friends and family that's the ultimate goal. And
absolutely.
Every night I just look out in the crowd and make sure everybody's having a good time. If they are, then I did my job. So
if you could give maybe some advice to a rising entrepreneur, or even, you know, maybe even a rising comic, what would it be?
Stay true to the art. You know, just stay true to be yourself. For me, shows are a direct expression of what I'm going through at the time, or the way I pick comics is, you know, maybe a comic has a certain message that goes along with the show, and I just try to put it together like that. Everything it's an art. There is an art form to it. So just stay true to yourself and true to the art and work hard. That's it.
You guys heard that? Authenticity. Staying true to yourself. That is a way to capture your audience and grow. Obviously, you're doing amazing. So our interview is about to wrap. We don't like to take too much of your time. It's just a little bit. But I do want to ask you this. This is our fun question. We always like to ask a fun question. It's a way off, but I feel like it tells our audience more about who you are than what you've already given out. So you ready for it? Okay, so if you could have a drink with anyone, living or dead, who would it be and why?
Living or
dead? And I want to know what you're drinking, because our logo is a martini glass, y'all. So we do like to know, what are you drinking with this person?
I would probably have a drink with Steve Jobs.
What would you be drinking?
Douce.
You know what? We just happen to have some Douce right here.
It's never too far
ironic, away. You know? So you'd have a glass of Douce with Steve Jobs. Really? Very interesting. You'd have a glass of Douce with Steve Jobs. You know, Douce is actually a Bacardi-owned brand. It's one of my favorite companies. But tell me, like, what would this conversation be like? Like, why Steve Jobs of all people? Because you're in comedy. That's very tech-centered.
Yeah, but it's not about what he's done specifically. It's more so about how he did it. That man had doors closed in his face non-stop throughout the way, and he was relentless with his drive and believing in what everyone told him couldn't work. When I first started this, they said, people go to the city for comedy, and it's working. You know, 2 years later, it's working. So, you know, I just would like to talk to him about what it is that drove him. That, you know, we all have days we want to give up, and days things are tough. You know, things not going the way we want. I just want to know what kept that fire going. You know?
Wow, that's powerful. you know, Steve Jobs is such an he's an interesting person, and I think he's touched millions and millions of people. There's almost 9 billion people in the world who hasn't a Steve Jobs product touched and changed the landscape of our culture. And you're changing the landscape of our culture here on Long Island.
Right.
Which is, it's really cool. It's a really powerful tale in and of itself, you know. I didn't know much about comedy until I've had a few conversations with you about it. I've learned a lot, but still very little. But my experience with your brand has been nothing but short of amazing, you know, and you opening up the door for us to, you know, give back to the community, that was even more powerful. So I want to say thank you. You know, our organization appreciates you so much. I'm sure the people receiving gifts, I'm going to thank you in advance for them. I'm sure they will appreciate you so much.
I think that comedy is just the vehicle to get through everything. It could be just entertainment for the night. We just had the toy drive. We could raise money through comedy. Ultimately, you know, one day I would like to go out to Riverhead, Suffolk County Jail System, and do a comedy show for inmates, and just, you know, give them a little bit of a good time and words of wisdom after, so that they can get their lives together afterwards.
That's powerful. Growing up, I was always taught that, you know, laughter is the best medicine.
Yep.
It heals a lot of things. It heals a lot of wounds. And it can restore and repair. And one thing I know is when I see comics on stage and they say something that resonates with me. It might have resonated with a tough time, like you talking about, you know, the loss of your younger brother. Or it could resonate with an exciting time. Either way, it's inspirational. And when you think about creativity and you think about what a creative moment what memories, what day, what emotion it might bring you back to, it's a powerful thing. So I just want to thank you for creating that magic, for bringing that power of laughter to Long Island, and thank you for sitting down, taking the time to talk to us today. Where can we find you if we want to find more, if we need more Damon Laughs, if we want to go to Charlee Marie's Productions, like, how do we get to it?
I'm Damon Laughs on every platform, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
There's an underscore in between laughs, y'all. He left that out.
There is an underscore, but it'll come up. I'm sure there's only one Damon Laughs. Also, if you would like to subscribe to, maybe get discounts for your tickets, or subscribe to our text list, every week we basically send out a clip of a comedian. I just write, thought you could use this, and then I'll send the clip of the comedian, and you never know who's going through bad times or whatever.
Right.
And hopefully, you know, through comedy we can all feel a little bit better about the state of the world.
You know what, I do have one more question. So aside from you giving daily laughs, like, do you plan on starting to, like, stream? Like, that's like the way of the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's coming up. Oh, I'm excited.
We might be locked back down for a couple of weeks, so it would be good to start streaming some comedy shows. And I don't particularly like what's been out there, people doing comedy in their living rooms. It's got to be produced a little bit better, so that's where I come in. So I'm going to be working with a few comics to get that started.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to these top-notch, high-quality productions. Thank you for taking the time out with us today. Thank you to the Young Hip Professionals audience. Thank you for always tuning in and keeping us going. We appreciate you.